Before even the 33, there are other medium-sized
trucks.
Okay. Before the 33,000, liter trucks. Then you're looking at that big-sized truck head that can go as far as 5 to 6 million, depending on whom you're buying from.
Okay.
So you should be able to know how much you have and what you're looking at before you can be able to go for those kind of trucks you're looking at. Yeah.
Okay, talking about those kind of trucks, to start, on a relatively small scale now, not a big scale.
Yeah.
For someone who wants to, delve into the truck aspect of the business.
Yeah.
Like how many trucks will the person need to start, at least?
Reasonably, I would advise, because obviously there's this, rhetorics that people want to use. Dream big, but start small. Yeah. So if you really want to see yourself in the next 5 to 10 years, I would advise that you start small.
Okay.
It's not advisable if you're going into this business, you go straight ahead to own your truck, depending on the size you want to look at.
Okay.
No, I would advise that you go for partnership. There are people who own these trucks.
Oh, okay.
You can strike a deal with them, maybe a 2-year contract with them. Okay. I want to be using your truck. I don't want to go elsewhere. Can I be able to get this truck as at when due? Okay, fine. How much? You have that agreement with the person in terms of your sharing formula. I get your truck. I go use your truck to pick up products. You provide me with the logistics in terms of drivers and those who are going to escort that truck. Because obviously there are times they get intercepted on the road.
Yes,
due to certain certifications that you need to obtain before, because there are various places you go to that require various certain levies you need to pay. For instance, if you're supplying product on the island, there are certain levies you need to pay. If you don't pay it, you get to meet some of these law enforcement agents on the road. If you're supplying on the mainland, there are certain levies you need to pay, regardless of how much you're buying the product from the depot. So these are certain things you need to understand. So I would advise that take yourself off that issue
of buying trucks.
Yeah, of buying trucks. Go and have a partnership with somebody who owns truck and strike a deal with them.
Interestingly,
that's very good. Sorry to chip in. That's very good, especially on a small scale. For someone who probably has 5 million to 7 million, the person can get a truck or two to start. You said about 1.5.
Yeah, within the range of 1.5 to 2 million, you can get a very small standard truck that can supply 1,000 to 3,000 liters.
So someone with about 5 million thereabouts can definitely start by getting maybe 1 or 2 of the trucks. And also you
also need to think of the product too. How much do you have to obtain a product? So those are the things you need to look at.
So interestingly, you mentioned the fact that it's important to start small.
Obviously.
And also you mentioned the fact that you have to start with partnership and having to meet people.
Very key.
Can you just shed more light on this issue of partnership?
Yeah, like I said, there are people who want to niche themselves at various line of the business. Because I'm into oil and gas doesn't mean I do everything. There are people who own fleets of trucks. There are people who manage trucks. So all you need to do is, where do you want to niche yourself in the business? Do you want to buy this product while you hire the truck? Or you want to both have the truck and also buy the product? It depends, and that largely depends on how much you have in terms of your trading capital. If your trading capital can acquire a truck and still buy the product, fine and good. But if you don't, I would expect, I would prefer you starting small by thinking of hiring this truck from those who own truck and buying the product and supply to your customers.
What's getting the product like? Is it capital intensive? Like, what's the range of money you need? You talked about how much you need to own a truck. For instance, I don't want to own a truck yet, and I want to start small according to your advice, and I just want to probably gather some money to get the product and probably get my clients base and supply. How much do I need to start up with as a starter?
Reasonably, between the range of 1 to 2 million for the product.
Just the product alone?
For the product. That's if you're starting small. So within the range of 1 to 2 million, you're good to start, buying products directly from the depot. And looking at the sharing formula, when you now hire the truck, you should have close to 500,000 somewhere. Because there are times you need to start supply and you might get like 2 or 3 supplies in a week. So you may need to have this understanding with those whom you're hiring the truck with, while you're also buying the product. And of course, have it at the back of your mind that no client will pay you immediately. It's usually between a period of 6 to 7 working days.
Why is that?
Yeah, because they need to test the product. It's not just enough telling them that, oh, I've done Q and Q, my products are okay, they are not adulterated. They still need to use it on their generating set. So if for the next 3 to 4 days there is no power and they have to run on diesel, then they have to see how good and qualitative your product is. And if eventually your product goes well, then they call you to come pick up your payments.
That's interesting, but I know quite well as well that they run these checks, quality control checks to ascertain how good the product is.
That's on the spot before they discharge.
Yes.
They will do the test. They will show you the quality of water level and all
volume
that
and all
before they eventually discharge into your storage device, your storage facility. But they will still not pay you immediately. I've had a couple of clients who they will tell you, Josh, our mode of payment is 2 weeks. Can you guys sustain it? So it means that if you're buying product, say maybe within the range of 200,000 to 300,000, you still have to look for money elsewhere to supply other customers until the other customer pays you.
Yeah. Okay, but then what's building your client base like? Because I know there are major competitors in this business in Lagos, in every part, Port Harcourt, oil producing cities. You have major competitors. So as a starter, how will I build my client base without having to steal from, for lack of better words, or collect the clients of whoever I've worked with, and I just want to start my own, and I don't have to take his or her clients? How do I build my client base with the major competitors we have already?
It's very strategic.
Okay.
One of the ways in which you need to do it is having the right product, like I said, and the pricing. If your product is too pricey, nobody would look at you. For instance, if you're buying from the depot at, say, 260, for instance, on an average, the maximum profit margin shouldn't be more than 15 naira.
Okay.
But some people want to make more money from it, as if they are not also buying from the same place other marketers are buying from. So what makes your own price more higher? Is it not the same quality you're selling? So one thing I would always suggest to people is try as much as you can to build your client base on the basis of trust. If your client can trust you when it comes to product quality, if they can trust you when it comes to pricing, even when the prices, I've seen people who, even when the prices are high, they still struggle to still retain that price because they always want to buy the heart of their customers. So if you are always about that, definitely you stay in the market.
So now, this business, is this something you could do while you have a job? Like comfortably do we just having one has to suffer for the other one?
The thing is trust. If you can trust people whom you want to have to work with you, you can also be doing other side business while that is also running. I have one of my partners whom whenever I want to call for, he will always tell me, okay, Josh, we can do this on Wednesday, but let me quickly make arrangement for my supply so that when I'm not there, my business can also be going. So it means that he also has other businesses he's running, but having people whom you can trust, people who will not go and do shady business when you're not there and spoil your relationship with your customers is very key.
Okay, we've just spoken extensively about the nature of having trucks and being able to invest in that part. You talked about the storage facility of the thing. That those who probably are not interested in having trucks or entering into partnerships in terms of delivering products and all, but in terms of storage facilities, what aspect of that business now in terms of the cost to have a storage facility, and what would be the general things that should be in place, or the much needed things in place for that to run?
There are standards.
Okay.
Besides, having a storage facility is illegal, but if you must have a storage facility, there are certain certifications you need to obtain from the regulating body. And there are certain standards that you should meet if you must own one. Do you understand? But the thing is, not everybody owns storage facilities if the standard is not something you can easily meet over time. So that is the reason why people will prefer not to go that way. They will prefer to say, okay, let me partner with people who own trucks, go buy my product and sell.
Talking about the job now, I mean diesel business as a whole in terms of the the supply chain. What are the challenges of this business?
When it comes to challenges, we're looking at maintenance of the trucks. Because that's where a lot of people do not want to dabble into, because to own a truck and make it serviceable, there are certain costs that you need to put in, into consideration. And a lot of people do not want to go there. So they'll prefer to hire, provide me the logistics and all it takes to take my product to my customers, and I pay you off and take my mind off every other thing that comes with it. So those are the challenges that are inherent. Then we talk about having to pay levies on the road and all that. Some people do not want to have that headache, because how much do I make from a particular product? Say, for instance, I'm supplying 1,000 liters. How much is the margin that I want to start sharing with people on the road? So
based on the 15 naira profit you said, that's just 15,000 naira?
So, and I have to start splitting my profit that I'm supposed to use to cater to other things, to start sharing to people on the road. So I wouldn't want to do that. So you who own the truck, settle that. I want my product to get to my customer, and that's my concern.
Okay, now let's talk about the hike in price in diesel. Now, diesel is currently out of stock in Nigeria, and we know diesel was sold for, I'm trying to remember.
Over 770 naira.
Yeah, no, before
that's at the last
time, but before the 700 naira, I think it was sold up, I'm trying to remember.
About 650 or thereabout.
Even before that, it was lower at some point. So the hike in price, what has it been like? How is the hike in price like affecting or would affect the business of diesel supply?
It definitely will affect the business, because customers, especially your clients, they are looking for a way to save more and make more money from their business. So if you don't go extra mile to make sure that, like I said, pricing, if your pricing is not something that will easily be accepted by them, gradually you're losing your customer base, and before you know, you're out of business. So it's really a great hurdle for petroleum marketers, to strike a balance. And that's where most of them who want to do everything at all costs to retain those customers go to buy products either that are smuggled or not up to the standard.
Okay, now, before we go, diesel is highly inflammable. Yeah. And there are risk factors involved in this business. Anything that concerns petroleum, flammable products, the risk factors are high. So managing these risk factors, what are the steps we could take just so we don't make money from diesel supply and also have our health to cater for with the little profit we are going to be making?
Like I said, before you go into the business, there are certain, basic knowledge about managing that business. And there are certain certification that comes with it. And mind you, once in a while, you get to see the regulators come and visit your facilities to see what you have in terms of managing any, disaster or emergency situations that may arise. So if you don't have most of these things in place, you might not be in the business for a long time, because there are times they would visit you without scheduling a time. And when they don't see most of all those things that are required to be in your facility, they may just shut
the business down. Okay.
Okay,
to wrap up this discussion, what are the measures or pieces rather of advice you would give to anyone who wants to delve into the diesel business?
Okay, basically have the knowledge that require you to be able to float, an oil servicing company. Then always draw your plan. Know where your niche, in that business would be. You mustn't be a master in everything. If it is diesel supply you want to do, have a diesel supplying, facility. If it's a storage facility, have a storage facility. If it's owning trucks or fleets of truck, let us understand where you are in the business and be able to deliver efficiently.
Okay, thank you so much.
Joshua Ukata.
Yep.
Now, that was Joshua Ukata right here in the studio with us. He is our business analyst and also the oil and gas, mogul we have here in the studio. Thank you one more time. And then we'll take a short break now. The sports segment comes up after the break.